If you want to buy farmland in the US and you don't have a lump sum of cash laying around, like you don't have $50,000 you can throw down on a loan for this land, in this video I'm going to break down a way for you to lease to own the farmland so that you can get around needing a huge lump sum payment. There's also a lot of benefits for the seller or the farmer in this case as well. Before I jump into discussing charitable remainder trusts, that's what's on the table today. Definitely this is a topic you guys are going to want to learn more about, and absolutely share this with people in your life who are feeling the call to farm, to steward land, to homestead, and they just don't know how to make it a financial possibility. This is one of those ways you're going to want to keep an eye out for this. I think more and more people are going to be using this legal instrument, this legal tool in the years to come. I've already had a lot of you actually comment on my videos that you have entered into charitable remainder trusts with farmers and how amazingly it's worked out. So I'm going to break down in this video what it is, why you should want to do it, and the benefits of doing something like that. But real quick, first disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor, nor am I an attorney, both of which should be hired if you were thinking about setting up a CRT. So I'm just going to throw that out there. I am a YouTuber and a reader and a writer. And by the way, since I am a writer, I wrote a very long and detailed article about this topic that you can find on my Substack. I'm going to link to it below. I am a writer first and foremost, so this article is going to contain every single little piece of info you could ever want to know about doing something like this. I highly recommend reading it, or at least following along with me on my publication below. It is called House of Green. You want to own farmland, you don't have 20K just sitting in the bank account. How dare you? That makes you a very normal person. We need everyday people to buy this farmland because $24 trillion worth of farmland is changing hands over the next 20 years. This wealth transfer, the biggest of our lifetimes, has already begun. It is now in full swing. I would much rather you guys buy it, everyday people that are going to do right by it, than solar empires, corporations, Wall Street, and developers, all of which want this farmland too. I'm not saying we can stop them, but I do want to empower everyday regular average people to at least feel like they can possibly consider buying some of the acreage out there. So what is a charitable remainder trust? It is a legal agreement, a trust that is set up upon which the farmer or the landowner, they're called the landowner in this case, will put their land and farm into the trust. The trust is managed usually by a nonprofit or a land trust, something that is set up specifically for this type of thing, a conservation land trust. I've actually worked with one already in Florida when I donated my plot of land in Cape Coral to the burrowing owls. I worked with the Cape Coral Friends of Wildlife Land Trust, and that is where my land resides. So the land in this case is going to go into a trust. The trust is going to be managed by a third-party nonprofit land trust type of thing. To get the land into the trust, the landowner or farmer is going to have to hire an attorney first and foremost because this is a legal setup. Charitable remainder trust can be set up in a variety of ways, which again is why I did write an article breaking down all of the different use cases and functionalities of them. But the one you guys are going to want to know the most about in this video is the lease-to-own type of charitable remainder trust that is going to allow you, the regular average citizen, to enter into the trust agreement with the landowner. So how this works is the land goes into a trust. You will agree to a monthly payment that you're going to pay the farmer or the landowner. It will function as their income for the remainder of their lives. Usually when they pass on is when the charitable remainder trust is done and the land will either transfer to you or be sold to you. I'll get to that later in the video. I have had so many people write to me and tell me that they have entered into these types of agreements with farmers, and the farmers ask them for, I'm not kidding you, $300 a month. The most expensive I have seen is $500 a month. Is what they ask for to know that their land is being worked and taken care of. So you have to understand, these farmers have pride in what they've built. They love their land, they love their farms. These are people who do not want to see their land and farms turn into solar complexes or high rises that nobody needs. They want it to stay farmland. That's part of the reason they're going to enter into the CRT to begin with. So they are willing to work with you to ensure that their legacy, this farm is their legacy. Their legacy is going to live on through you. There is a personal element to buying land in this way. It is a much more personal, spiritual way to buy land than getting a loan through the USDA or through farm credit, which is what I did. I've also written about that. I can link to that below as well for you guys. 2 financial reasons the farmer would like to enter into a CRT, and you can bring this up if you're trying to convince somebody to want to do this with you. 1, they get to avoid capital gains tax. We love that. We love that. Farmers love that, trust me. 2, they get an income for the remainder of their days, and they don't have to watch their land be gobbled up and stripped right before their very eyes. In some CRT arrangements, the farmer may still reside on the property if it's a 100-acre estate, but you are the one that's going to take over working it, farming it, doing whatever it is you want to do on the farm. Since the CRTs are customizable, you will probably establish the CRT agreement with the farmer together, and it will include all of these different things in it for you. Again, that's why you have to seek out an attorney to set something like this up. That will be your biggest expense in this case, is the professionals that you are going to need to call to set something like this up. The benefit to you as the buyer for entering into a CRT, the first obvious one is you don't need to put down a lump sum massive payment for the land. They aren't going to say, where's your $75K to get kickstarted with your loan here? No. They're going to agree to a very affordable rental rate that is going to make this actually possible for you. As a regular person, you're going to be able to lease the farm. Now, you can write into the CRT, when the farmer passes on, there's a bunch of things that can happen. There can be a clause in it that the farm is automatically yours for a set price. Sometimes the farmer might set the price of the farm before they pass away. In many cases, they will set the price of the farm way below market value because they want to make sure it ends up being yours. There can also be a clause that says you have the right to buy the property first when the farmer passes on, and nobody else. You will get the option to consider buying it first. The farmer can also decide to have the land pass on into a nonprofit where it will just be protected land forever. That's not the type of arrangement you will be agreeing to with them in this case. Something special happens with CRTs that I really want to mention in this video that make it very different from getting a loan from the USDA. And that is that a personal relationship is formed between you and the seller. You're the person, you're the stranger that's going to come along and basically take over their baby while they are alive. So they're going to be there to work with you if you want, to mentor you, to share things with you, to pass on traditions and information you would have never known on your own. And along the way, along a couple years of this happening, it's gonna be unavoidable that you develop a relationship with this person and vice versa, them with you. So a lot of people tell me by the end of the CRT, the farmer has grown so loving, so fond of this person that's gonna ensure their legacy lives on, that they will agree to financial arrangements, rental payments and farm sale prices that are like so crazily below market value. You could never find this type of thing otherwise. And this type of thing only does happen with a personal relationship. So many people say to me, well, how do I develop that personal relationship with the farmer? A CRT, you guys. There's so much more to it than that. I was so interested and excited writing about it this week. These things are very customizable again, so you can set it up with the farmer. And if you're saying to yourself, well, how do I find a farmer that wants to set up a CRT? I go over that a lot of times and in the articles, that you're going to meet them in public places or on their farms, at their farm store. Maybe they're having an agro-tourism event. Maybe they're at the local two-step dance on a Friday, or they're line dancing, or they're getting coffee on a Saturday morning at a local, farmy cafe. You're gonna have to put yourself out there to at least start mingling with these people. They aren't just gonna appear out of thin air. Or they might be in some Facebook groups, but not every farmer is gonna be in a Facebook group. They are probably busy, or they probably hate Facebook. Share this with someone in your life, a landowner who might be aging. They had kids that don't want the farm, they didn't have kids, and they don't want to see it turned into a giant Costco after they're dead. That would break my heart. Even though I'd be dead, I would come back to haunt the people that did that to my land. And this will ensure that that not only doesn't happen to their land, they avoid capital gains tax, they get a lifelong income until they pass on, and they get to know that their beautiful farm is being taken care of. You get access to high quality land. I read that as well. This is one of those ways to get access to higher quality land and farms than you may find on a Zillow, for example. My land that I love was raw, undeveloped, neglected farmland that I bought off of Zillow. I've had to put a lot of TLC into it. Many more videos coming to show you guys what I'm doing here and what I have done with it, but it did need a lot of TLC. So in this case, this might be a working farm on gorgeous land that awaits you, and the 75-year-old farmer would love nothing more than to meet you and to get started and enter into this type of arrangement with you. So share this video with people in your life. If you like me screaming about buying farmland at you, please subscribe. I have a series ongoing here and on my Substack for the next 20 weeks. I'm breaking down unconventional ways to buy farmland in the United States. I've already tackled farm credit, the USDA, and getting loans and grants through your individual state. Now I'm on to CRTs. Many more things to come. I'm very excited to break down how to buy farmland with crowdfunding campaigns. I will be covering that on here and in my Substack, so stick around. Also, if you are wondering what the running water sound is, it is because I put in a wildlife waterer right there. I did a bunch of shorts on here where I go over how I set that up and what it looks like, if you guys are curious. That's what the nice spa sounds are in the background. I did not add that audio. It is actually right there. I am considering setting up live streams as well. Last question for you guys. I'm considering setting up live streams for all of the wildlife activity here. Should I stream that live off of this channel since it's technically not me talking about buying land? Would that bother you? Would you like that? I would love to know your thoughts on a little Beatrix Potter live stream straight from this channel. Would you like that? Let me know below. Okay, everybody in the Northern Hemisphere, stay cool out there. Be back soon. Bye.